So my first name is Virginia, Virginia. Last name is Hinch, Hinch.
And what's your title, Virginia?
So what is my title? I am counselor for District 8, Halifax Peninsula North.
For those who are not from Canada and what you just said, Halifax, tell us a bit more about the community. What is that, Halifax Peninsula North?
Halifax Peninsula North is a part of a district which goes from Cogswell Street all the ways down to the other end of close to Africville Park. Then it's up from Windsor all the ways down to Barrington. So if you can see that parameter, that's my district. It's about 25,000 people in the district that I represent. So yeah.
So you're the city councilor. So you're like the mayor of the city? Mayor of like the area?
No, I'm not the mayor. There is a mayor. His name is Andy Fillmore. He is the mayor of the city, and he's over all of the 16 councilors. So there's 16 councilors in the area, and we all represent different parts of Halifax and Dartmouth, the HRM.
So as a city councilor, you were sworn in the fall.
Yes.
First black female in this district to be sworn in.
Yes.
What is your day-to-day like?
What is my day-to-day like? Oh my goodness. Answering a lot of emails for one thing, meeting with residents in the area, meeting with groups that want to meet on things that they're passionate about in their communities. And then there's the council meetings that we have. I probably sit on about six to 8 boards. Not that I wanted to, but it ended up being that way. So there's the regional council board that I sit on, and then there's a Halifax Northwest board, I believe it is, that I sit, community board that I sit on. I also sit on the board of police commissioners as well. That's a pretty big one, especially for our area. And then there's the diversity and inclusion board that I sit on, and then women's advisory board that I sit on, and then there's the Halifax Forum that I sit on. So yeah, there's quite a few boards.
So you were born and raised in Nova Scotia. You brought up Africa. Tell us a little more about your generation, your bloodline.
So born and raised here. So my bloodline is a little bit different. So what I would say is that my mother, her biological parents, her biological mother was a Mi'kmaq native, and her father was black. So that's how they came to be. It's a little strange story in a way, but it's so when my grandfather passed away, my grandmother passed away not too long after he passed. They say she died of a broken heart. My mother and her siblings, they were all young at the time, and they were in foster care, and they all got dispersed all over, we'll say, of Halifax and Dartmouth. So, fun fact, my son's father, when I was over in his grandmother's home, I saw a picture on the wall, and I was like, that looks like my Uncle Georgie. And because I had met him some point in life, and then I was saying, damn, that looks like Uncle Georgie. And then Lionel says, no, that's my Uncle Georgie, which was my ex at the time. And I'm like, no, that's my Uncle Georgie. And then we figured it out that his grandmother adopted my mother's brother. So, and then with my mother, she ended up being in Africville with my who I call grandmother now, Bertha Dixon and Boise Dixon, and they raised her as in Africville. And then that's how that came to be. So there's a lot more to it. Tunde, it's a whole lot. And then, you know, what happened to Africville, and then my brother and my sister were born in Africville and raised pretty much until it got dismantled. I was in my mother's belly when she moved to Uniacke Square, and that's where I was born and raised at, in Uniacke Square. So yeah.
And you're serving the same community now?
I've been here all my life. I have worked here, I have volunteered here, I have lived here. I always say that, you know, even when it came to going to school, I went to St. Pat's Alexander. My son went to St. Pat's Alexander. Before that, I went to Canard Street Daycare. My son went to Canard Street Daycare. Like, it's generational type of things going on. And they're still here. Well, Canard Street Daycare is still here in the community. So, so there's that. And then, like I said, I've worked in this community all my life. I've been living here all my life.
Being a lifelong resident, and now you're in a position to actually do certain things you're able to do that you weren't able to do before, what are some of the issues here, and what does a community need or not need? Like, what are some of the things that you're looking to do some change on?
So one of the big things, I think, was gentrification in our area. So the developers are just doing anything that they want to do, build anything that they want to build, with no forethought in mind of the actual community itself and what it represents. So that was one of the reasons why, one of the reasons why I put my name forth. Also, the safety concerns in our community. Before becoming counselor, I worked for Nova Scotia Provincial Housing Agency, and I was with them for the past 15 years. And I've seen everything that you could possibly see when it comes to the safety of the community, what is putting in our community, how everything keeps dropping and dumping into this community when it comes to the shelters, when it comes to the type of organizations. Like, it's just no forethought. There's no afterthought about just putting them right into our community and what that means for us. As you know, it's disheartening, and it's unacceptable, and it has to stop. I mean, you know, we can only take so much, and I think we're in overload at this point in time, because again, we see what's going on as of right now, what's going on in the community with regards to the homelessness, with regards to the encampments in the areas. No affordable housing is being built at this time. There is anything that's being built is out of our range, my range. I can't afford to purchase a home. Not that I really want to at my age, but you know, if my son can't purchase a home because he can't afford it, even though he has a pretty good job. So, you know, these are the things. And then they're still trying to continue to build. And when you build, what goes up? The property taxes go up. Everything goes, you know, everything goes up. So it's just not sitting well with a lot of my constituents who I've spoken to within the community, along with myself.
I only got a few more minutes, so I'll just ask a few last questions here, the last few questions. Before, you talked about gentrification before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 15 years ago, nobody wanted to live here.
Nobody wanted to live here. Nobody wanted to walk these streets. People were afraid to walk these streets. And now all of a sudden it's totally, I'm like, okay. It's totally different, you know.
So with that, it went from this writing here, went federally, went from 300th in spending, one of the poorest, to now one of the richest. Do you have a plan in terms of making sure that the original inhabitants, like your son and others that are here now, are able to partake in the economics in terms of the construction that's going on here, the housing that's going on here, the businesses that are going on here?
Do I have a plan? I would love to have a plan, but I know my plan will fail. And I say that because in municipal government, you only have so much control. We need all three levels of government to come to the table and to have the serious conversations, especially when it comes to affordable housing, creating more jobs for folks. It's something as simple as having a grocery store in our community. That seems to be unattainable, and it shouldn't be. We had one before. I think we should have one again. Whether it's a no frills, I believe we should have a no frills here. We don't need to have a Sobeys. I don't believe we need to have a Sobeys or anything, but we need something that's going to be obtainable and affordable for the community.
Is there anything that we spoke of here that we didn't cover that you feel that we should speak about before you go?
Here's what I would like to say. During my campaign, spoke to lots and lots of folks, but they don't understand the levels of government. So if there was anything that we could do, especially for our people, to teach them about the three levels of government, how it works, what is entailed, and things of that nature, to help us grow as a community, to help us put our, if somebody was interested in getting into politics, that they won't be so nervous or afraid to put their names forward. Again, people keep saying that, you know, what they say that, you know, Virginia, you did a courageous thing by putting your name forward. And it might have been a stupid thing. I don't know. I don't know. I believe that in order for us to effect change and make change, we need to be part of the conversation. So I will say that. I also hope that, you know, when my time is up here in government, that myself, or even there's another gentleman on council, John Young, and even in the province with Susie Hansen, and all of us, like, we're only here for a period of time, but we hope that we affect change enough that we can get more people to come to the table and put their names forward. So that's what I would say.
Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you come back again.
I would love to, 100%, because I know it's only a short period of time. So, and I thank you guys so much.